1. Introduction. Hello, my name is Fiona. I want to tell you my story. I am 29 years old. I live a very busy life. I work as a nurse in a big hospital. It is often a difficult job, but I enjoy helping people who are sick. I am also a mother. I have 2 lovely children, 1 boy and 1 girl. They are young and they need a lot of my time and attention. And I am a wife. My husband's name is Paul. My days are always very full. I work long hours, called shifts, at the hospital. Sometimes I work during the day, and other times I have to work at night. These nursing shifts can make me feel very tired. When I arrive home from the hospital, my work continues. I need to look after my children. I play games with them, help them with their school things, make their dinner, and get them ready for bed. I also take care of our home. I cook the meals for the family every day. I clean the kitchen, the living room, and the bedrooms. I wash all the clothes. There is always something that needs to be done. It often feels like I am doing everything by myself. I tried very hard in our marriage. I wanted to be a good wife to Paul. My biggest wish was for our family to be happy and stay together. I loved Paul very much. When we first met, everything felt perfect. For a long time, I believed we had a strong and happy marriage. I always supported Paul with his job and listened to his problems. I tried to make our home a nice, peaceful place for him to come back to after his work. I thought we were a good team, working together. I truly loved Paul with all my heart. For many years, I believed he loved me in the same way. I thought we were happy living our life together. Our life was very busy, that is true, but I thought it was a good life. Looking back now, maybe I did not see things correctly. In the last year or so, things started to feel a little different between us. Paul began coming home late from his job more often than before. Sometimes, even when he was sitting right next to me on the sofa, he seemed quiet and far away in his thoughts. He often looked tired or stressed. I asked him sometimes if everything was okay. He usually told me yes, he was just very busy with work. I did not worry too much about these small changes at the time. Perhaps I should have paid more attention. But I was very busy too. I was busy with my demanding job, taking care of the children, and managing the house. And the main reason I did not worry was because I trusted Paul completely. I believed him when he told me he was just tired from work. I never thought he would tell me something that was not true. I could not imagine he was hiding a big secret from me. So, I just continued with my busy daily life. I focused on taking care of everyone else. This was my normal life before everything changed very suddenly. It was the ordinary, busy life of a working mother and wife. I thought I knew exactly what my future would be. I was very wrong. 2. A sad surprise. One evening, things changed completely. Paul left his phone on the kitchen table. It made a small sound and the screen lit up. I saw a message. It was not for me. The name on the screen was Julia. The message said, "Can't wait to see you tonight," and had a red heart next to it. My own heart stopped. It felt like the floor disappeared under my feet. Everything went cold. I could not breathe properly for a moment. Was this real? Paul, my husband, was seeing another woman. I picked up the phone with shaking hands. I waited for Paul to come into the kitchen. When he walked in looking for his phone, I showed him the message. I asked him, "Who is Julia?" My voice was quiet, but inside I was shouting. Paul looked at the phone and then he looked at me. His face was cold. There was no surprise, no worry. He did not try to lie. He told me everything. Yes, he was seeing Julia. He said it very simply, like he was talking about the weather. He told me he was not happy with me anymore. He said he needed something different in his life, something new. He even said I changed too much after our 2 children were born. He blamed me. He said our life was boring now. Each word hurt more than the last. It felt like he was pushing me away with his words. Then he said the words I never thought I would hear. "I am leaving, Fiona." He told me he was going to live with Julia. He did not ask what I thought. He did not seem sad about leaving me or the children. He just decided. He went upstairs and packed a bag. It happened so fast. One moment he was my husband, part of my life. The next moment he was walking out the door to be with someone else. He closed the door behind him, and the sound was very loud in the quiet house. I stood there in the hallway for a long time. I felt completely empty and broken. Shock covered me like a cold blanket. He was gone. Paul left me. He left our family. How could this happen? I felt so stupid for not seeing the signs before. Tears started running down my face. I felt abandoned and alone. My world, the life I worked so hard to build, fell apart in just a few minutes. The surprise was terrible, and the sadness felt too big to carry. 3. Life changes fast. Paul was really gone. His clothes were not in the bedroom. His car was not parked outside. The house felt very big and empty. It was quiet now, too quiet. Before Paul left, there was always noise. Paul watched television or the children played games. Fiona and Paul talked. Now the only sound was the clock on the wall. It was a slow, sad sound. Fiona knew this was real. She was alone now. This was her new life, and it started today. The next morning was difficult. Paul usually helped with the children in the morning. Sometimes he made their breakfast. Sometimes he helped them put on their coats and shoes. Now, Fiona had to do everything by herself. She had to get 2 small children dressed and ready. She made breakfast for them. She packed their bags for school. It took a very long time. Fiona was late for her job at the hospital. Her boss was not happy about that. This happened often in the next weeks. The children started to miss their father too. They often asked Fiona, "Where is Daddy? When is he coming home?" Fiona found it hard to answer them. Their questions made her heart feel heavy. Life became much harder. Fiona worked as a nurse. Her job was important, but the hours were not easy. Sometimes she worked late at night. Before, Paul was home with the children. Now she needed someone else. Finding good childcare was not easy. It also cost a lot of money. Her best friend, Sarah, helped when she could, but Sarah had her own family and job. When Fiona came home from the hospital, she felt so tired. But the work was not finished. There were dishes in the kitchen sink. There were clothes to wash. The children needed dinner and help with homework. There was never time to sit down and rest. It felt like too much work for just one person. Money became a big problem very quickly. Paul did not send much money to help. Fiona earned money from her nursing job, but it was not enough for everything now. She had to pay for the house, food, the children's clothes, and the new childcare costs. Everything was expensive. Fiona started to worry a lot about paying the bills each month. She thought about finding a second job, but when could she do it? She needed to sleep sometimes. She wanted to see her children. Worrying about money made her feel stressed all the time. Fiona felt tired every day. It was not just her body that was tired. Her mind and heart felt tired too. Some days she felt incredibly sad and lonely in the big, quiet house. She often cried after the children went to sleep. Sometimes she felt angry with Paul. Why did he leave them like this? Other times she felt scared. Could she manage everything alone? The house, the children, the job, the money, it was all so much. Her life changed so fast. It was hard to believe how different things were now. She missed her old life, even when it was not perfect. These new problems felt huge. 4 very hard days. The house felt very empty after Paul left. Nights were the most difficult time for me. When my 2 children were asleep, I was completely alone with my thoughts. I often cried quietly in my bed. Everything felt heavy and dark, like a big cloud was over me. Simple tasks, like making breakfast or getting dressed for work, felt very hard to do. I felt deep sadness almost all the time. Loneliness was my constant companion. Sometimes, a strange and confusing feeling came over me. I missed Paul. This was hard to understand. He hurt me very much when he left with Julia, but I still remembered the good times we shared before everything changed. I missed the family we used to be. I missed having another adult in the house to talk to in the evenings. These feelings made me feel weak and silly, but they came anyway. Seeing Paul in town was painful. One afternoon, I went to the supermarket to buy food. I saw Paul near the fruit section. He was with Julia. They were talking and laughing together. Seeing them look happy hurt my heart deeply. It felt like a physical pain. I quickly turned my shopping cart around and walked away fast. I did not want them to see me crying. Another time, I saw them walking in the park near our old house. It felt like I could not escape them. Every time I saw them, all the bad feelings came back, strong and sharp. My children missed their father too. They were young and did not understand everything. They often asked me questions like, "Where is Daddy?" or "When is Daddy coming home for dinner?" These questions were like little knives in my heart. It was so difficult to answer them. I tried to explain simply, without making them too sad, but it was almost impossible. Seeing their confused and sometimes sad faces made me feel even worse. I felt like I was failing them as a mother. During this time, I started to feel that I was not good enough. Maybe Paul's words were true. Maybe I was not interesting anymore. I looked at myself in the mirror and I did not like the tired, sad person looking back. I felt unwanted and not attractive. His reason for leaving, that he needed something new, stayed in my mind. I felt rejected and small, like something was fundamentally wrong with me. My best friend, Sarah, was a great support. She called me often just to check how I was doing. She listened patiently when I needed to talk or when I just needed to cry. Sarah always told me kind words. "You are strong, Fiona," she said many times. "You are a wonderful mother and a good person. What Paul did was wrong. It is not your fault. You deserve someone much better." Her friendship helped me feel less alone. It was good to know that someone cared. Sarah reminded me I was not completely by myself, even on the very hardest days. 5. A new friend. One evening, I finished a very long day at the hospital. My feet hurt, and my heart felt heavy. Everything felt difficult. I did not want to go straight home to the quiet house. The children were with Sarah for the night, so I decided to go to a small coffee shop near my work. I just wanted a quiet place to sit for a little while. I ordered a coffee and found a table in the corner. I watched the people outside, but I felt very alone. Then a man sat down at the table next to mine. He had kind eyes and a soft smile. He saw that I looked sad. He did not say much at first. He just smiled kindly. After a few minutes, he spoke. "Is this seat taken?" he asked, pointing to the chair opposite me. I shook my head. "No," I said quietly. He introduced himself. "My name is Henry," he said. I told him my name was Fiona. We started talking. It was easy to talk to Henry. He asked simple questions about my day. He did not push me to talk about my problems. But somehow, I started telling him things. I told him I was having a hard time. I did not tell him everything about Paul, not then. But I told him I was feeling sad and alone. Henry listened carefully. He did not interrupt. He did not give advice. He just listened. He understood without me saying many words. He looked at me with kindness. He did not judge me. It felt good to talk to someone new, someone who did not know my whole story but was still nice to me. He made me smile with a small joke. It was the first real smile I had in a long time. We finished our coffee. Henry asked if maybe we could meet for coffee again sometime. I was surprised, but I said yes. After that day, Henry and I started meeting sometimes. We met at the coffee shop or walked in the park. We talked about many things. He told me about his job as a teacher. I told him more about my children and my work as a nurse. Slowly, talking with Henry started to help me. He was a good friend. He was patient and gentle. He was very different from Paul. He never made me feel bad. He just listened and made me laugh sometimes. Spending time with Henry was like finding a small light in a very dark place. I started to feel a little bit of happiness again. It was just the beginning, but it felt like maybe things could get better. I had a new friend. 6. Learning about love. Spending time with Henry felt nice, but it was also a little strange for Fiona. After everything with Paul, she felt unsure about liking someone new. Was it too soon? Was it okay to feel happy again? Sometimes, a small feeling of guilt appeared. She was used to the sadness that followed Paul leaving. Liking Henry was a different feeling, a hopeful one, but she was still very careful. Her heart remembered the hurt, and she did not want to trust too quickly or make another mistake. She needed time. Henry was very different from Paul, especially from how Paul acted before he left. Henry showed real kindness. He always listened carefully when Fiona talked about her difficult day at the hospital or her worries about the children. He never interrupted or told her she was wrong. He was patient. If Fiona needed quiet time, Henry understood and gave her space. He never pushed her to talk or feel happy when she did not. He showed her respect in simple ways every day. He remembered she liked her coffee black. He asked about her shifts at work. These small, thoughtful actions showed he cared about her, Fiona. It felt very different from the end of her marriage. Fiona worried a lot before Henry met her children. Their happiness was the most important thing. One sunny Saturday afternoon, Henry came to their house. He did not bring expensive toys, but simple games and colorful books. He sat on the living room floor and played a card game with her son. He read a story to her daughter. He was gentle and funny, making silly voices for the characters in the book. The children laughed loudly. They liked him immediately. They asked him many questions about his job and his favorite color. He answered every question patiently. Before he left, they asked, "When can you come back, Henry?" Seeing her children happy and comfortable with Henry made Fiona feel a deep warmth inside. It was a good sign. Watching Henry with her children and seeing how he treated her made Fiona think. She remembered how Paul was often busy with his phone or seemed angry about small things near the end. Henry was calm. He was present. He paid attention when she spoke. Fiona started to understand love differently. Maybe real love was not about grand gestures that did not last. Perhaps love was shown in small, kind actions, day after day. Maybe love meant feeling safe, heard, and respected. Henry showed her this kind of quiet, steady care. Being with Henry started a healing process inside Fiona. Slowly, she began to believe that she deserved happiness and kindness. She was learning that real love should not make you feel small or sad. It should feel supportive and good. She was more than just Paul's ex-wife or a tired single mother. She was Fiona, a strong woman who was learning to open her heart again. This new understanding felt like the beginning of a new chapter. She was still careful, yes, but hope was growing stronger than fear. She was learning what love could be. 7. Paul comes back. Paul heard news about Fiona from a friend. The friend said Fiona looked happy and mentioned Henry. Paul learned Fiona often spent time with this new man. He also heard Henry was kind and played with the children. Paul felt strange when he heard this news. Maybe he felt jealous. He did not like the idea of another man being with his children. He started to think a lot about Fiona and his old life. One afternoon, Fiona's phone rang. She looked at the screen and saw Paul's name. Her hands felt a little cold. He did not usually call just to talk like this. Usually, they only talked about the children very quickly. She took a deep breath and answered the phone. "Hello," she said. Her voice was steady and calm. Paul's voice was quiet on the phone. "Fiona, I need to talk to you," he said. He told her he was very sorry for hurting her so much. "Leaving you and the children was a big mistake," he said again. He explained that his new life with Julia was not what he expected. It was not making him happy. He said he missed their home. He missed their family life, like eating dinner together. He missed reading stories to the children before bed. He told Fiona he understood now how much he lost when he left. Then Paul asked the big question. "Can I come back, Fiona?" he asked. His voice sounded hopeful. "Can we please try to be a family again? We can do it for the children. We can do it for us." He said he still loved her and wanted another chance to be her husband and a father. He promised that things would be different this time if she agreed. Fiona listened quietly to everything Paul said. She did not cry. She did not shout or feel angry. She felt surprisingly calm inside. A small part of her felt sad for him, but a bigger part felt strong and sure. She knew she needed to see him. She needed to talk to him face to face, not just on the phone. It was important for her to close this part of her life. It was also important for the children's future. So she spoke clearly. "Okay, Paul, we can meet and talk about this." They decided on a time and a quiet place to meet later that week. After the phone call ended, Fiona sat and thought about the meeting. She remembered how she felt many months ago. Then, a call like this would make her cry for days. Then, she wanted Paul to come back very much. But now, things were different. She felt different. Life without Paul was hard at the start, but she learned many important things. She learned that she was strong on her own. She learned she could manage her job, the house, and the children by herself. Meeting Henry also helped her. He showed her what real kindness and respect felt like in a relationship. She was not the same sad, unsure woman Paul left months ago. She felt clear in her head and heart. She knew meeting Paul was necessary, but she did not feel confused about her future anymore. She was ready for their conversation. She felt confident. 8. A happy new life. I met Paul like we planned. I felt different this time. Before, I was sad or angry when I saw him. Now I felt calm. I felt strong inside. He told me again that he made a mistake. He asked me to take him back. He wanted our old life. I listened quietly. Then I looked at him and spoke softly but clearly. Paul, I said, I understand what you are saying, but my answer is no. We cannot go back. Our old life is finished. He looked very surprised. Maybe he thought I would always want him. I continued, you decided to leave our family. That hurt me and the children very much. It was a terrible time, but I learned many things. I learned about myself. I learned what is important. I know now that I cannot be someone's second choice. You made your decision, and now I have made mine. I am moving forward with my life. Paul did not say much after that. He looked sad and maybe a little lost. We said goodbye, and I walked away. I did not look back. I felt like a heavy weight was gone from my shoulders. Some weeks after our talk, my friend Sarah told me some news. Julia left Paul. Sarah said Julia was very angry when she learned Paul asked me to take him back. So now, Paul was alone. Hearing this news did not make me feel good or bad. It just felt like the end of a story. A difficult chapter was finally closed. My life is very different now. It is full of light and laughter. Henry is a big part of this new life. He is so kind and patient. He shows me every day what real love feels like. He respects me, and he is wonderful with my 2 children. They love him very much. He plays games with them after school. He reads them stories before bed. Our home feels happy and safe again. We spend a lot of time together as a family. We go for walks in the park on weekends. We cook dinner together in the evenings. It is simple, but it is beautiful. I am not just a nurse or a mother now. I am Fiona, a woman who is happy and loved. My journey was hard. There were many days I cried, but I came through it. I am stronger than I was before. Sometimes, losing something that feels important is not really a loss. It can be a chance for something better. Losing Paul was painful, but it opened the door to Henry and to this happy new life. I am thankful for where I am today.